And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. If at any time during this net should an emergency arise, please notify net control, and we'll stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time? And hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our Qso-Vlog network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best sounding station possible. Thanks for dropping by. FYI, my background is 50 years in commercial broadcasting, where a lot of big bucks are spent on audio processing equipment and getting it set up correctly to get the best sounding station possible. Well, long story short, when I became a ham radio operator, I could hear immediately a large discrepancy in on-air technical proficiency. A lot of stations were running with very poor mic equalization, very muddy, with little articulation. And as I continued to work stations, I realized most of the stations were also running very low average peak modulation, many around 30% of average peak modulation. So with my background, I felt I could help, or at least try. I knew that most ham radios of modern description have enough onboard processing equipment to be able to overcome most all of the problems. So it would just be a matter of developing a generic dynamic range setup procedure and then adjusting the onboard EQ gear. And so I started the Qso-Vlog net with the phrase, "If you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout." And today we're currently featuring over 3,400 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. And you can access these recordings by going to YouTube and doing a call letter search for KC9VKV followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word logbook. And we also have a newer series called KC9VKV Highlights. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. These are some of our less technical and more human nature philosophical kinds of QSOs. That's KC9VKV followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. Both KC9VKV Logbook and KC9VKV Highlights are segments of our main YouTube homepage of Jim's Radio Story, where we celebrate a 50-year career in commercial broadcasting. A 50-year journey from a 5-watt pirate radio station as a 12-year-old to production director of a major 50,000-watt AM broadcast facility. And the thing that makes this truly a unique story is that I have all the actual masters from all along the way. Over 2,600 shows, including many full-length major music concerts and radio documentaries. You'll have to check it out and subscribe. Jim's Radio Story on a YouTube search. Our mission statement for the Qso-Vlog network is to establish a higher technical level of radio transmissions of the human voice by the intelligent utilization of available electronics in current amateur radio transceivers. Our setup, while generic in nature, converts the average 10 dB dynamic range transmitter with an average 30% of peak modulation to a much fuller 3 dB dynamic range with an average 80 to 85% of peak modulation. This substantial boost in audio transmit level is extremely beneficial in high noise levels and heavy QRM. It allows you to punch through when others fail. Also today on the transmit side, we'll be running our no SWR, specially oriented, resonant-tuned dipole antenna. One leg of this resonant-tuned dipole antenna runs broadside to Montreal, Canada. The other leg runs broadside to Miami, Florida. As we were constructing our station, our mantra was 20 over from Montreal to Miami with a hotspot through the Carolinas. And although conditions may vary, the general performance of this antenna supports its mission. Also today we'll be running our input source indicator, so when we switch from an internet SDR receiver to our local receiver, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube Qso-Vlog video. As we come together for another Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network, let us pause just a moment for the Amateur Radio's Operator's Prayer. Lord, we pray for clear 20 over S9 communications today, that all our transmissions fill the air and reach their destinations QSA5 to be understood by all. As we pray for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. During this time of pandemic that has challenged us all, we pray that you'll protect everyone, especially our elderly. And also, Lord, please seek our divine intervention to bring peace to a very divided United States. As we go through a very conflicting time in America's history with dark clouds all around, we pray that you'll reduce life's daily political QRM between our brothers and sisters. And through your love and guidance, show us the way to find peace and harmony. Help us to communicate with one another 20 over S9. Thank you, Lord, and God bless and protect America. Amen. To continue, since this part of the band has many nets trying to operate in a very confined area, I would appreciate all stations checking into our Qso-Vlog net to keep their band pass to no wider than 100 to 2900. And again, please, no wider than 100 to 2900. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. And now, with all that being said, let's open it up and see who's out there. If you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout.
For Whiskey Zulu 9 India.
Roger, Roger, 9 India, and what's the name there?
Name is John. We're located in the city of Winder, Georgia.
Roger, Roger, and what radio are you running today?
Inlet TS 590ST with a Mercury 3 amp running about 500 watts into an off-center fed dipole up 55 feet in pine trees.
Roger, repeat your radio one more time, please.
TS 590SG.
Roger that. Well, if you'd be interested in our setup, is that an older radio or newer radio, John?
It's 14 years old.
Roger. Well, gosh, I guess you have a fixed frequency as far as operational bandpass. Usually a lot of radios today have 3 selections for their transmit bandwidth, TBW. And the best one is 100 to 2900, and that gives you just a slice of daylight before you're into somebody else's conversation. But I'm assuming that radio may not have that 100 to 2900 since it's about 15 years old, Roger?
Roger, that is correct.
What is it, 27, 28?
I'm sorry, what is that number?
What is your transmit bandwidth? 26 or 27?
Roger.
Yeah, Roger. All right. So then we'd move to the compressor processor, usually on at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. We're just looking for a third of that compressor processor, Roger.
Roger. The compressor is on. It is set at 24.
Is that 24 out of 100?
4 out of 50.
Roger that. Well, let's see here. What would be a third of that value? We only want a third of that compressor. The thing is, a compressor 3 and a compressor 6 are the same as far as actually working on the word, but the thing is the 6 has suck-up between the words, which we're really not interested in. So we're looking for 3. So that would be 3 out of 10. So 1.5 out of 50.
I'm looking for the compressor setting on my radio. It's been so long, I haven't changed it in 15 years. Give me a moment to find it.
Well, I'd say such a small difference. I mean, we're just looking for a tad of compression, tasteful. That's what it is. The word is tasteful compression processing, which is like about a third, 3 out of 10, or 30 out of 100, or 1.5 out of 50, I guess. That's going the wrong way. I got to check that out. I've never worked a 50 radio as far as input nomenclature. Usually it's 10 or 100, something more fathomable for my brain to figure out. Roger.
Just double check that it's set at 35 out of 100.
Very good. Close enough. That's right in that 1/3 range, which is what we're looking for. All right, so after compression processor, we move to our ALC meter with mic gain in hand, and we become a human test tone generator as we say the word audio. Now, I've looked at that word on a spectrum analyzer, and it just is filled with overtones in it from the bottom end of the frequency range to the top. So it really makes a nice tonality to tune with, since it's so multiplexed as far as frequency response. So it is the word audio. Don't worry about the last half of that word. It's just the first half, the part. And as you say audio, and manipulate your mic gain control until your ALC meter is running 7 or 2/3. 7 or 2/3, Roger?
Audio. Running about 50%.
Yes, sir. Well, we want to be just to the right of that. You know, you're in the ballpark there. We just got to touch it up just a skosh, so we're at 50% would be 5 on that meter, and then so we're looking for 7 or 2/3 on that meter. Roger. And you would say that word just as you would say any other word in the QSO. Don't stress it. Just to say it like you would say any other word. Roger.
I'm changing settings. I haven't changed in probably a decade.
Roger. Well, you get to see how close you are. See. Tell you what, John, if you have just a moment, why don't you give me about 10 or 15 seconds about your antenna system, and let me look around and see if I can find us a better path. Roger?
Roger. A better path. Roger. Roger. My antenna is 130 pole, fed with RG8 up 55 feet, and it's running generally north and south.
Roger, so obviously, ballistically, you would be working east and west, Roger?
Obviously, ballistically, you would be working east and west, Roger? Roger, that is correct.
All righty, so you want to check your ALC one more time and go for a second opinion? We're looking for, and you know, the thing is about the word, it's so easy to set that level. I mean, you used to say so between the here and here, but now with that word, you just adjust that mic volume, and you can just put it right on 7 or 2/3, whichever that meter reads, Roger?
7 or 2/3, whichever that meter reads, Roger? Audio, there we go.
There we go. Now, tell me about the best thing, since we got you going good, tell me about the best thing you like about your radio.
Since we got you going good, tell me about the best thing you like about your radio. Well, I've had Kenwoods for 30 years. I'm used to the layout. I've got 2 TS2000s in front of me, and also this 590SG. So I guess I like being familiar with it.
Yes, sir. You don't have to develop new tricks to run that radio. It's probably a common tribute and attribute for each Kenwood radio that there is a certain similarity from model to model, Roger?
Yeah, there is a certain similarity from model to model, Roger. Roger, that is correct. And by the way, where are you located? And I have missed your name. I just ran across you trying to find a friend of mine who is operating Parks on the Air today.
Roger. Name here is Jim Juliet India Mike, and the call is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. And this is the Qso-Vlog net from now until 5 o'clock. And we are located down around Louisville, Kentucky. We're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville. Roger.
We're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville. Roger.
Roger, been there many times. And one of the other things, I'm not as familiar with the audio settings on this rig as I'm 90% Morse code CW.
Roger. Well, your EQ pattern is just fine. I wouldn't touch that at all. That's just very articulated. So even in heavy QRM, you're going to be heard and understood. Roger.
You're going to be heard and understood. Roger.
Roger. I for many years was the net control of the Badger Weather Net up in Wisconsin, and we moved from Madison, Wisconsin to Winder, Georgia about 8 years ago. So at that point I converted myself mostly back over to CW.
Roger, my grandfather was a real CW guy from, he was amateur radio before there was an FCC, Roger?
He was amateur radio before there was an FCC, Roger?
I'm afraid I'm not quite old enough to remember those days, but I have been on the air for about 65 years.
Roger, yes. Well, I guess you've, seen a bunch of stuff come along on radio. What's your attitude about contesting and stuff like that? How do you feel about that?
Stuff like that. How do you feel about that?
I'm neutral attitude-wise. As far as participation, the only contest I ever participate in is the state QSO parties on Morse code.
Roger that. Well, it's good that there a lot of people share that interest in radio. I think the more interesting we can make the hobby, I think we can ensure the longevity of the hobby, and I think that's one of the things that I try to look past when there's contesting and there's not a frequency open to get anywhere, and some stations are running 3 or 4 frequencies, 2 up and 2 down, and one in the middle, 5 frequencies at once. Roger.
Down and one in the middle, 5 frequencies at once. Roger.
Roger. Occasionally, I listen to those contests, especially and I love listening to the rare DX stations, but I very rarely, if ever, work those folks.
Yes, sir. Well, part of that is, I think, that their frequency band on the other side of the pond, those frequencies are dissimilar than ours. We're not on the same wavelengths many times to be able to copy, them rare DX stations.
Rare DX stations.
Roger on that. It's been 10 minutes since I've ID'd WZ9I, Winder, Georgia.
Roger, John. Okay, sir. I think we got you, sir. You're sounding really good. And if you get a chance and you want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2400. Or 3,400, anyway. But this will be cut number 1, so it's easy to find, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow, Roger.
Easy to find, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow, Roger.
Roger. Well, thanks for visiting with me. Take care, God bless, and we'll be listening for you again. WZ9I, I'm clear.
Roger, John 73, sir. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. And if you get a chance, join us next Friday. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
VlogNet. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. Roger, what's the name there?
Name's Mike.
Hello, Mike, and where are you, sir?
Hello, Mike, and where are you, sir?
I'm in Billings, Missouri.
Why, hello, Missouri. How's it going out that way?
Why, hello, Missouri. How's it going out that way?
It's hot and muggy right now, and it's not going to be any better. It's going to stay that way till sometime this evening, and maybe it'll cool down just a little bit. Where are you at?
We're down around Louisville, Kentucky. We're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville, Roger.
Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville, Roger.
Oh, okay. Did you go see the Kentucky Derby while you were there?
Gosh, I woke up one morning and it was yesterday. Usually the best seat for the Kentucky Derby is in front of your TV.
Usually the best seat for the Kentucky Derby is in front of your TV.
Yeah, I have never been there, but I would like to go, but I really don't want to fight and see the 500,000 people there. I'll just watch it on TV if I can. I know a friend of mine, him and his daughters went down there. They went one time and they never went back. But that's too many people for me.
Oh, yeah. You know, it takes 6 to 8 hours to get out of town on Derby Day.
6 to 8 hours to get out of town on Derby Day.
That I did not know. That's probably another reason I wouldn't want to stay. If you were going to stay, just go back to the hotel, spend the night, and take off the next day.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. Although there are a lot of people that get in their private jet and go back home for the evening.
People that get in their private jet and go back home for the evening.
Oh, I understand that. That's for a fact. There's another place I've always wanted to go, and I won't go to it for one reason. You can see it better on TV. But I always wanted to go to the Indianapolis 500. And I did get to see the track one year. There were cars running on it. If you're sitting on the front stretch, you'll never see a car because they're going so fast you can't see them. It looks like a blur. But like I said, I would have loved to have seen the Indianapolis 500 one time. I won't do it. I'll watch it on TV.
Yes, sir. Well, you know, through the magic of TV, you can see it so much better because, you know, they can go here, there, and everywhere, and it takes you a half hour to move, you know, through 10 people.
Hour to move, you know, through 10 people.
I know what you mean. I was talking to the guy that took me in to see the track that day. He said that holds generally 300,000 up to 500,000 people in one day. And he said it takes a while to get them all in there, and it takes a while to get them all out. I also wanted to go see either Daytona or Talladega. I think the traffic moves a little bit better down there because they don't have, you know, they don't hold that many people.
Roger, Roger. Now, I used to know a friend of mine, a buddy of mine, that worked for a cell phone company that serviced Talladega, and they said that they had enough cell phone service to cover 300,000 people simultaneously.
To cover 300,000 people simultaneously.
Oh, wow. My ex-wife, my first one, she worked for the telephone company, as a matter of fact. She retired from AT&T after so many years.
Roger, Roger. Well, this guy said they had 2 or 3 cell phone towers right there, you know, very close to the main part of that. And then they had, I think, 3 different cell towers up on a hill, you know, about 2 or 3 miles away.
Up on a hill, you know, about 2 or 3 miles away.
I'll tell you what, I'd love to go see those races. I don't know if I'll ever get a chance, but it's pretty expensive to get in, I guess, nowadays. But anyway, what's your favorite hobby?
Oh, you're listening to it, bud. I used to really enjoy building antennas for UHF and VHF, and I worked a lot of repeaters down the road there. I spent about 3 years chasing in the what would that be? The southwest direction from my house. I just set a course southwest from here, and I had good coverage that way. And so there was a whole ridge of repeater stations down there, and I just would test out maybe 5 or 6 antennas simultaneously. I'd bring them all around and point them at the same direction, and then I had a rotary switch that I could go through and listen to each one separately, and very similar to what I have now on internet SDRs. I could just run through 5 or 6 antennas in 2 seconds, Roger.
Antennas in 2 seconds, Roger.
That's Roger. Question: you general or are you extra?
Repeat again.
Repeat again.
I said, are you a general or are you an extra class?
I'm still not hearing you very plainly. Come up on that mic a little bit and let me listen to you.
Hearing you very plainly. Come up on that mic a little bit and let me listen to you.
Okay, I say, are you extra class or general class?
Oh, I'm a general. That's about all I can muster up at one time is my general license, Roger.
Muster up at one time is my general license, Roger.
That's Roger. Hey, I ran a general class for a long time. I finally got my extra, which I'm glad I did. And I go down on the extra portion of the band sometimes, but mainly I'm in the general class portion. But I enjoyed the hobby. My first radio was a 520 Kenwood. My second one was a 440 Kenwood. My third radio was an FT 1000 MT Mark V field. And the next one was a 920 Yazoo. And that's about all I want. And then I've got a couple of amplifiers. One's an AL811. The other one is it's a SB221 that I want to make sure that it's cleaned up and right where I can get full power out of it if I ever want to. I probably, once I get it up there and running right, I'll probably stay around 1200, 1300 is all I really want to go up to. And that way I can make sure that I will not be going over the 1500 regular signal limit, you know.
Roger that. Well, this is SB220 that you're listening to now. SB220 and a 7300 driving it into a dipole antenna. Roger, Roger.
Driving it into a dipole antenna. Roger, Roger.
And I probably would stay with the 8040 or go dipole.
Well, I tell you, John, Mother Nature is weird. I have like these 5 SDRs that I have on a rotary switch plus my 7300 audio out. And so I found you much better up in my Virginia SDR, but the problem is that they're undergoing some kind of a lightning storm up there in Virginia. Man, it's really bad, and so here I have a perfect copy, and all of a sudden there's this lightning hit, and everything gets quiet for a minute, and then it comes back. So they're really having a pretty wild thunderstorm up there in Virginia, it sounds like.
Thunderstorm up there in Virginia, it sounds like.
Watch out for a tornado watch. They don't have us under a warning or anything. But Okay, yeah, we are underneath the watch still. I'm not sure what time it comes off, though. But right now, I'm seeing sunny skies. We got high wind, but that's about all I'm seeing right now.
Oh, Roger. Well, there's nothing more exciting to have an 80-mile-per-hour breeze come through your antennas sometime in a couple of hours, and you're thinking, "Wow, I've got a couple of hours. What can I save?" Because you figure 80 miles an hour, there's not going to be much left, Roddy.
You figure 80 miles an hour, there's not going to be much left, Roddy.
Well, in fact, it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago, or maybe a few longer than that, a tornado did come through Springfield, Missouri. It actually hit out of west of Springfield. We had high wind here. Then there was some that was just a little bit east of us. One came down and then went right back up. And there was one even farther east of us, down around Seymour. But for 2 days, they had 50,000 people out of power, and after the first day, they got 25,000 back, and they fixed the other 25,000 in 2 days. But there was a lot of wind, there was a lot of water, and I've been through a tornado before. In fact, I lived out north of town from where I'm sitting right now, and I'll tell you what, I don't want to ever go through another tornado again.
Roger. Now, they always talk about the steam locomotive sound, or maybe not steam, but the locomotive sound. Is that really true? Do you hear that when one passes?
The locomotive sound, is that really true? Do you hear that when one passes?
Well, when we went through ours, this happened in 2003. It came up through Texas. It came up through Oklahoma. You could hear it outside for a long time, but when it come within a couple of miles of the house, you didn't hear nothing at all. In fact, I was looking a half mile back to the southwest, or south-northwest of the house, and you could see the treetops coming off of the trees. At that point, you had dead silence, and it was within 100 yards of the house. Still didn't hear nothing. I heard it, and it was right over the top of us, and I lost my mind to that one. And how I survived was by the grace of God. And I got myself out. Got down on me, and I got in on it. I looked out going to the northeast. And it blew me away. The devastation of it all.
Roger. Well, you know, Mother Nature is hard to predict what she's going to do. It's just like radio. You know, some days are a whole lot better than other days as far as propagation, you know. And that's Mother Nature. She's unpredictable, Roger.
That's Mother Nature. She's unpredictable, Roger.
That's a Roger. I'll tell you what, the flares coming off the sun is what's really messing us up within the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Roger that. I'm not really into all that, but I'm sure that has a lot to do with propagation, Roger.
I'm sure that has a lot to do with propagation, Roger.
It really does. I was getting on a net that started up at about 10 to 11 o'clock in the morning, and it's up on 72, 62. It's called the Sparkles. And the general people are around this area here, down in Arkansas and east of it, and whatnot. And that day, it took the whole net out. You couldn't hear nothing anywhere on the band.
Yeah, Roger that. I, have read a little bit about Marconi and his work on, early radio, and I have since thought about the idea of maybe working with somebody at a distance, maybe 600 miles or 500 miles, and this would be a quick test, but to experiment with sport gap, like Marconi's early transmissions were spark gap transmitters, which, you hit a button and it does the vibrator thing and puts an arc. We would use, when we played with them many years ago, I used a little spark plug and kind of put it a little closer than what you would normally gate it as, and a Model A high voltage transformer, and you hit 12 volts on that thing, and it had a vibrator on it, and you could shoot an arc on that spark plug, and then you would put the high side to an antenna and the low side to ground. And I guess about the only tuning you really had was the type of antenna radiator that you had hooked to the spark gap, to guide the frequency range into, say, a 40-meter dipole antenna or a 80 meter. That's what I'm assuming, that they had a very broad frequency range on those spark gap transmitters.
A very broad frequency range on those spark gap transmitters.
I would imagine so. I've always wondered what they actually used on ships. I happened to be talking to one of the aircraft carriers about a month and a half ago, and talking to naturally fast off the ship itself. And he said that if you go down to the aircraft and you tell them that you've got your ham radio operator license, they will actually let you get on the radio, go to the radio room, and you can actually make conversations from the radio room on the aircraft carriers. I think that would be so neat to do.
Roger. But now with a real spark gap transmitter, those things are so wide frequencied, maybe 30 megs or more wide, Roger.
Maybe 30 megs or more wide, Roger.
You're right. Well, I think the aircraft carriers are probably using like transmitters like we've got. But now, think about the Titanic. That was a spark gap system on it.
Yes, sir. That's a Roger, and they did get out, and there were ships that had been notified of the situation, and some tried to help, and some just went back to sleep. It's before people realized exactly how bad it was. After all, the Titanic was unsinkable, Roger.
The Titanic was unsinkable, Roger.
That's true. Well, I guess the owner of that ship and the captain went in together, and I don't think either one of them survived.
Yeah, Roger, I think that's, that's part of the tradition, I think, of the mariners, particularly for captains that, I don't think his life would have been worth much when, if he got back to land, because, anyway, it's such a tragedy. I'm sorry, but on the other hand, there were some that were saved, and they were saved because of radio, Roger.
They were saved because of radio, Roger.
That's very true. I agree with you there. But I don't think I want to go out over the ocean on a big ship or anything like that. I don't want to cruise out there. In fact, I would love to do some traveling across the world if I had the money to do it. But there's another thing that's stopping me. I don't want to get on an airplane. Because let's face it, if you get up that high, are you going to be coming down safely, or are you going to be coming down in one big flat and not where anybody doesn't survive? That worries me a little bit.
Yes, sir. I can't help but think, going through the thought right there at the last of, what the hell am I doing here? I could be home watching TV.
What the hell am I doing here? I could be home watching TV.
Hey, you got my feeling and sentiment right there, dead on the nail.
Yeah, Roger, Roger. All right, sir. Well, I think you're sounding really good. I got some nice recordings. They could have been better, but my Virginia SDR was the best by far, but it was being locked out by severe thunderstorm up that way, and it was really intense because it would hit their, so bad it would hit their recovery, and things would actually get quiet, and then it would suck back into that. But so those lightning strikes were pretty close and pretty severe. So anyway, let me say 73 down there. Way good to talk at you, and if you get a chance and want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube, do that call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow, Roger?
And I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow, Roger?
Okay, now give me that call sign again.
Roger, Roger. It's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. And repeat, Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. Logbook. And so it's KC9VKV logbook on a YouTube search. Will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow.
Number 1, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow.
All right, thank you. May I have your name again, please?
Roger, Roger. Jim, Juliet, India, Mike. Jim, Roger.
Roger, Roger. Jim, Juliet, India, Mike. Jim, Roger.
Roger, thank you very much, Jim. I appreciate this. Love the conversation. That's the one thing I have to say I love about Ham's radio. We've made lots of new friends, and I'm glad of it. And I learned so much from this radio. And, hey, God bless you. You take care. Well, maybe we'll catch each other on this air again soon. AC0, UK. Back to you, sir.
Roger, Roger, Mike. Well, we're usually here Friday afternoons from 3:30 till 5. Have been for the last 8 years on our Qso-Vlog net. And so, if you get a chance, come on by. We'd love to have you. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. CD back. Call Kilowatt Delta 4 Sierra Hotel JD4SH, over.
Roger, Sierra Hotel, and what's the name there?
Roger, Sierra Hotel, and what's the name there? Name is John, located in Powell, Tennessee.
Roger, John, and what radio are you running today, sir?
Roger, John, and what radio are you running today, sir? I'm running a Flex, and stand by a second. My tuner just jumped out of whack. Hold on.
There's a man with a wacky tuner.
There's a man with a wacky tuner. Okay. That might have helped a little bit. I think it probably did. I'm running a Flex 8400, and I just got a control head for it, the Maestro, and I'm trying to get it kind of dialed in a little bit. A lot of new controls trying to learn over.
Oh, roger that, roger that. Well, we still, our tune-up is generic. I'm not sure, does that radio, what is the transmit bandwidth, the TBW? Will that go to 100 to 2900?
Will that go to 100 to 2900? No, it's right now it's set at 100 to 3100, so it's 3 kc's bandwidth, over.
Yes, sir. Well, I usually suggest 100 to 2900, and that gives you just a slice of daylight before you're into somebody else's conversation. So we do 100 to 2900, and that gives you just that slice of daylight, Roger?
900, and that gives you just that slice of daylight, Roger? Yeah, Roger. I cut it back to 2900. That's one of the controls I can find easy over.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, you know, it's the good neighborly policy that otherwise, you know, somebody might come looking for you because, you know, well, I don't know, you know, but 2,900 is a safe bet, and that gives you just that slice of daylight before, you know, running into somebody else's conversation. And once we're past the TBW, transmit bandwidth, we're into that compressor processor, and we're only looking for a third of that capability, like 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, just a third, just a touch of compression processing, just barely, Roger.
Just a touch of compression processing, just barely, Roger. Roger. Well, I'm sitting here looking at the meter, and it's showing a negative 10, which isn't pushing this radio into the what they call the caution area or into the red. So it's not too bad. But the compressor is on in the normal position.
Yes, sir. That's the one we want. The normal mode there, and then into your ALC meter. And as you say the word audio, I spent a great deal of time trying to find just the right word to say to set a level and become a human test tone generator and to set a level. And I found the word to be audio, just the first part of that word. And as you're saying that word and adjusting your mic, internal mic control and looking at your ALC meter, and we want that meter. I know yours is a little different there. But we're saying 7 or 2/3 on the ALC meter, Roger.
2/3 on the ALC meter, Roger. Well, the band took a big fade. No, it's hard to hear. I think it's about dropped out on us. So.
Roger, well, let's see here. I'm pushing all I can there. We're on the dipole antenna on the right at the Louisville site. We're on the Indiana side, but right from Louisville, we always transmit on our dipole antenna. But we're receiving around the country to help communications along with folks that have antenna problems and don't get out too well, or do get out but just don't have the right conditions a lot of times. Right now, I'm listening on my Kentucky antenna, which is up around Cincinnati. It's on the Kentucky side of the Ohio right at Cincinnati, Roger.
Cincinnati, it's on the Kentucky side of the Ohio right at Cincinnati, Roger. Okay. Well, I'm using a Hustler ground-mounted vertical, a 5 BBT vertical, and after looking at the band scoping, there's very few signals on the air. Everything there is weak, so whatever's happened, we may have had some kind of solar thing going on where it's had a solar flare or whatever that's causing the band to be all messed up. But anyway, I did turn the audio down a little bit and the bandwidth, so we'll let it go for that for there right now, and I'll try to get some of the local guys here to help me with when I adjust the equalizer on the radio. But I'm using an INRAD mic.
John, I was copying you on my Kentucky SDR. I tried to go over to my 7300, and I just did not have much of a copy at all, but I was copying you fairly well on my Kentucky SDR. Enough that I could see, I've got a VU meter tied to the audio. One of the things I have tied to the audio out of my 7300. So I can see your modulation index by the way the meter hangs. Without processing, usually a meter is considered to be audio to be a 10 dB affair without processing. And then as you process along and fatten it up, we're looking for a 3 dB fat signal. And right at the 3 dB point, as I'm looking at my VU meter, it just kind of hangs there just a little bit, and it tells me that your audio is in that 80 to 85% average peak modulation, Roger.
That 80 to 85% average peak modulation, Roger. Okay. Well, that sounds great. By the way, your signal come up quite a bit, sir. You were up to an F9. I just put my headphones on. I had to fumble around and get those. The headphone jack in the flex, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's in the back of the radio. So you leave your headphones hooked in and you turn them on and off. It's the control. So I had to figure out how to get that on there pretty quick. But anyway, well, that sounds pretty good. I don't guess you want to go much more than that as far as modulation. 85 to 90% would be max, probably. That way we won't have any distortion or anything like that. So no spurs going out from the transmitter over.
Oh, Roger. Now that's average peak modulation. You're going to have some, higher levels, but the average is 80 to 85% for a 3 dB dynamic range signal. So, and like I say, I'm looking at your audio on a VU meter, which lets me see how fat you are by the way the meter hangs. I'm also looking at it on a spectrum analyzer, although I'm on a SDR, so looking at the spectrum, it's somewhat restricted on the bottom side. SDRs usually roll out there about 300, 250, somewhere in there. I was trying to get you down to my 7300, which is good down to 100 cycles or better. On a house system that I listen to that has a subwoofer, so I'm good on the bottom end from that down to about 50 hertz or so cycles, whichever part of the world you're in. I guess I'm lost up on the kilocycle range. Hertz sounds strange to me.
Kilocycle range, hertz sounds strange to me. Yeah, Roger. Okay. Well, I think the main thing I guess I need to do, I appreciate that, all the help you've given me, but I need to get one of the local guys because they've got a much better signal, and we'll work a lot of adjustments to do on this radio, and my old East Tennessee my accent probably doesn't help a whole lot either. So that's probably where we're at. By the way, I've been a ham now almost 50 years. Been around a while. But I like to play with the new stuff over.
Roger, I think I lost the last part of your transmission. What was the last 3 words you said there?
I think I lost the last part of your transmission. What was the last 3 words you said there? Play with the new stuff, I guess the new technology over.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Constantly bewildered by the capabilities that money buys. I mean, I had this thing, I'm running a homebrew electret condenser microphone into an ART preamp, which furnishes the phantom voltage for the electret mic, and I was having some problems with it, and I was working with it, and I knew I had some backups, but I just didn't have them at my fingertips, and so I started looking at the thing on Amazon Prime, and man, what I used to buy for $60 is now $250, Roger?
What I used to buy for $60 is now
250, Roger.
I didn't copy much of that at all, a little bit. You had a backup of what?
Oh, just saying, my mic preamp was acting a little strange, so I knew I had some backups, but I just didn't have them in front of me, so I thought I might check Amazon Prime to see what they had available. And the same thing that I paid $60 for is now $250, Roger. I paid $60 for is now $250, Roger.
Okay, Roger. Well, I appreciate all the information that you've given me and the help, and I'm going to go ahead and get off a little bit and maybe go upstairs, see if I can't find some coffee in the kitchen a little bit. So anyway, let me say 7-3, and thank you for the help, and you have a great rest of the day. This is KD4SH.
Roger, John, and if you want to hear that radio, we are recording and have been since our QSO started, but we started before that at 3:30, and we upload it to YouTube by noon tomorrow. So if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording, and like I say, I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. So it's KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook on a YouTube search. Roger? VKV, followed by the word logbook on a YouTube search. Roger?
Could you give me that address again to get to the audio? It took a little fade in there, over.
Yes, sir. Go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. Again, Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, will take you to this recording, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. To this recording, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow.
Okay. Well, I copied Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, and the word logbook. Go to YouTube and search on that, and maybe by tomorrow you'll have the recording up there, and I'll be able to listen to myself, over.
Roger. I'll have it up there by noon tomorrow. Roger. Roger. I'll have it up there by noon tomorrow. Roger.
Roger. Well, I appreciate that. You have a great rest of the day. This is KD4SH.
Roger, John. I think your audio curve is just perfect. I can hear it clean enough. I would consider that perfect. It's got a lot of articulation, not a lot of bottom end, but you know what they say, if you venture forth with a lot of bottom, if you have a well-balanced signal with a lot of bottom and a lot of top, and go out into the world and Mother Nature decides to bend your transmission in two different places when it coincides back on Earth, it's slightly out of phase, and phase angle cancellation always starts from the top and works its way down through the audio spectrum. So the first thing Mother Nature does is just whap all your beautiful top end off, and you're left there with a bunch of bottom end garbage. So anyway, I think your signal is just perfect. 73, John. I think your signal is just perfect. 73, John.
7-3. Have a good day. KD4SH clear.
Roger. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Good afternoon, Jim. Kilo Golf 4, Whiskey, Quebec. It's been a minute since we spoke.
Yes, down in Alabama. Is that a Roger?
Yes, down in Alabama. Is that a Roger? Yep, that's me. How you been doing?
Oh, great. Let me just get the best signal. If you could just give me about 10 seconds of your antenna system verbiage, and I'll run through and see, get the best one. Roger? I'll run through and see, get the best one. Roger?
Well, it's an end down here. The antenna's a doublet, center fed with 600 ohm ladder line, about 65 foot in air, Jim.
Oh, buddy, I got you on my local 7300. You're about 20 over. Audio spectrum from the top to the bottom just sounds beautiful. Looking at a spectrum analyzer, activity past 100 down there, about 75 or so, and all the way up to the top end where it needs to be. Just sounds beautiful, Roger.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. I ain't done anything different. Just keeping on with what I've been using. Like I said, I haven't talked to you in a minute, so I rolled in here and I heard you, so I figured I'd shout at you and give you a howdy.
Roger. Now, let's see here. Where are you? You're in Alabama, Roger?
Yes, that's right. Down here in Alabama. Name's Richard. Calls Kilo Golf 4 Whiskey, Quebec.
Roger that. And what radio is that?
It's an Apache Lab, non-7000 DLE Mark III.
Roger. It really sounds nice, man. Just beautiful.
Oh, I appreciate that coming from you. I mean, you ain't sounding bad yourself. I've never heard you sound bad anyway.
Roger, you got more on the bottom side than I do. I don't push too much on the bottom side. Mainly the upper side for intelligibility, but you're just nice across the band, Roger. I mean, your frequency response characteristics just very linear, very balanced, Roger.
Well, I appreciate it, Joe. A lot of guys say I got the pipes for it, and I don't know. We just be myself, and ain't no sense in trying to be anybody else.
That's right. And you know, the thing about voices, and I've kind of studied voices for a lot. When I went to WHAS, which is a 50,000 watt clear channel, there was a guy there that I'd been listening to before I went to that station on the radio in North Carolina. I was listening to him. He's at HAS, but it sounded like he was 10 foot tall and just unbelievable voice. And so one evening I was on the control board, and he came in to do his sports show at HAS, and the sports desk was just right in front of our console, and I introduced him, and he started doing his report, and I realized that I couldn't really hear him too well, and he was only like maybe 3 or 4 feet away at max. And so I said, what's wrong here? And I put my earphones on real quick to check to make sure everything was copacetic. And there that voice was, in the earphones. But in the studio, his level was so short, so light. And that's why he had multiple harmonics in his voice. If you look at that the other way, if you consider a scream gets so loud because the voice has focused the latitude as far as frequency response into one narrow tone. That's why it's so loud. On the other side, when you project less, you start having harmonics, small harmonics within your voice, and that's what makes it sound so much bigger, Roger.
You got it figured out, I guess. I mean, I haven't really ever studied anybody's audio voices or vocal cords like that. I just try to be me with what we got to go with. And the microphone is electric voice RE27. I haven't changed it from the last time I talked to you.
Oh, Roger, yes, really nice mic. Your operation is just perfect. And if you would like to hear it, sir, if you go to YouTube and do that call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor, Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. That's KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. We'll take you to this recording, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow, Roger.
Okay, Jim, it was a pleasure talking with you, and we'll try to catch you another time, another way down the log, and have yourself a super fine weekend coming up, and may the good Lord take a liking to you and have a blessed day. 73s for now, Jim, and we'll catch you later. KG4WQQ.
Roger, Roger, 73 there. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend, and if you get a chance, join us next Friday. We'd love to have you. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Whiskey Sugar 8 November.
Whiskey, let me find Whiskey Sugar, and what was the rest?
8 November.
Whiskey Sugar 8 November, Roger. What's the name there?
Name on this gun is Bill. I'm in Cary, Ohio.
Roger, Darrell. And what radio are you running, sir?
Running the ICOM 7610.
All right. Remind me of something about the 7610 I think you might find interesting if I can remember it all in my brain. If you would be interested in our setup procedure, it starts with you getting that radio into the 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth, TBW. It's called wide, and it's 100 to 2900, and then gives you just a slash of daylight before you're into somebody else's conversation. And that's why we love that 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth, Roger.
Roger, Roger. Yeah, that's exactly where it's set right now. By the way, give me your name and give me your call. I didn't get that down, please.
Roger, Roger. The name is Jim, Juliet India Mike, Jim, and the call is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. That's KC9VKV, and this is the Qso-Vlog net where we assist folks in their transmitter setups. And if you would like to take advantage of that, we got that radio right there in the 100 to 2900 wide mode. Then we move to the compressor processor, and we're only looking for a third, just barely some tasteful compression there of let me see here, a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. Just a third of the capabilities of the compressor processor, Roger?
Yeah, Roger. Let's see what this one's set at. All right, yeah, well, it's set at 3, number 3 on the compression. All right, go ahead.
Roger, beautiful. Now move to your ALC meter with mic gain in hand. And as you say the magic word audio, just the first part of that is what we're interested in, the and adjust your mic gain until your ALC meter is running 7 or 2/3, depending on which one comes first there. We want 2/3 or 7 on that ALC meter as you say the word audio and adjust your mic gain control. Roger?
Very good. Well, let's take a look and see what it's doing here. All right, that was about 6 or 6.5 on that scale, and the mic gain is set at 15%. Go ahead.
Roger, sounds good. Now, you may have to play with that. So what we also suggest is that you might leave your ALC meter out. You got to have something to do as you talk to your friends and neighbors across the world. And you're just looking at that ALC meter over a period of time, and you'll develop a relationship that you'll be able to keep that ALC meter in the sweet spot, which is 7 or 2/3. And, you might have to make slight corrections to your mic gain control. Nothing large, but just to try to, find your place where you can stay in the sweet spot on your ALC meter. Roger?
Yeah, very, very good. Yeah, I don't do a whole lot of messing around with it, but it seems to be okay. And by the way, you're doing quite nicely here. Yeah, you're doing quite nicely here. Yeah, I'll give you a little rundown of the station. The antenna I'm using is a dipole. It's a fan dipole for 160, 80, and 40. So that's the antenna we're using. And I am using just about a kilowatt there, Jim. Go ahead.
Roger. Now, did you have much trouble trying to get your different bands tuned in on that antenna? And do they all break out the same way, or do you X and Y them differently as they break out of the central feed point?
X and Y them differently as they break out of the central feed point. Yeah, they're kind of, I call it maybe the maypole type of setup. They're not real far apart, but they're not close. I know I use an antenna analyzer, got the numbers, come in here, put the numbers in my program on my computer. It told me exactly what to do, and it was correct. Over.
Roger. That's beautiful. Did you have much interreaction between the different band antennas?
Reaction between the different band antennas? Yeah, and usually in the people trying to adjust, they adjust from the wrong antenna first, and then they find it for the next 4 days. But yeah, I did what you're supposed to do. Started with the top, the big one, and worked my way down, and not a problem. It only took a few minutes.
Roger. Now I have 5 different dipoles up on my tower, and I make it a point to just not get the feed point closer than about 2 or 3 feet from the tower, so it's suspended. All of them are suspended off the tower, but you have to be careful that you wind up working on the right antenna for sure, Roger.
That you wind up working on the right antenna for sure, Roger. Yeah, copy. Yeah, this, the way mine's set up, I had a utility pole, or, electric pole with utility pole put in my yard, and that's where the antennas are all attached to that one key point, and no interaction from the support structure, over.
Oh, that's great. Yes. I spent about 2 or 3 years building dipole antennas. I'm sorry. Yes, well, gain antennas, might 7 element, some 14 element on VHF, UHF. And, the thing is, if you vertically polarize one of those beam antennas and you run a support pipe up to hold it, then you're going to be having some problems with directional differences, and you're probably enough away from the feed point that it doesn't show up in SWR, but it does show up in manipulating the beam angle from what it was. So what I did was use, I had this big antenna, and I used a 4 or 5 foot piece of wood coming out of a pipe to support the beam vertically polarized, at the top of the pipe. I used a piece of 2x2 or something like that to not to run parallel to those elements, Roger.
Well, as always, anytime you get something metallic up there, there's going to be a coupling of some sort between the antenna and your support structure, your mass piping, and it's just a matter of how much of a difference it's going to make. Hopefully, not a big difference. The antenna I use for 20 meters and up is a 10-speed. That works pretty doggone nice. So I'm pretty well set up for all the bands. There's Whiskey Sugar 8 November.
Roger. Well, it the cross member that holds all the the elements, that area is very friendly for metallic stuff. So if you are mounting that antenna horizontally, there's only just a couple of inches there that you have to worry about. But on a vertically polarized antenna, that the problem is on the tips of the elements are really super sensitive to any metallic areas. You can go up to the crossboom and do all kinds of things, but when you get out to the tips of that those elements, boy, they are really sensitive.
So that's boy, they are really sensitive. Yeah, it's all part of the game. Most of the antenna modeling programs, I think, kind of take part of that in when they're making their, predicting the outcomes of the modeling software. But I'm not sure that that's accurate either. But okay, Jim, I probably ought to get off here and let you pick up somebody else. I guess the radio's working okay. We did a couple of things, so yeah. I'll get out of your way, Jim, and let you make some other contacts, and hopefully can make somebody else happy. The Kilowatt Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor from Whiskey Sugar 8 November.
Roger, Roger, 73 there. Sounded really good. And again, if you want to hear that audio, go to YouTube, call it a search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, would take you right to this recording, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. 73, sir. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. 73, Jim.
73, sir.
Kilo Golf 4 Victor Charlie Foxtrot, QSL.
Victor Charlie Foxtrot, is that correct?
Victor Charlie Foxtrot, is that correct?
That is correct.
Roger, Roger. What's the name there?
Roger, Roger. What's the name there?
Yeah, the name on this end is JJ, Juliet, located near Asheville, North Carolina. Currently operating remote, a flex station, so I'm actually using my iPhone to transmit with at the moment, and been listening to you for a while, and just figured I'd see if this thing was working.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And the name is JJ, is that a Roger?
Sure, yes, sir. And the name is JJ, is that a Roger?
QSL, the name is JJ, Juliet.
Roger, Roger, Juliet. Audio is very good. It's very loud. Not a lot of distortion. The frequency range tends to be mids and uppers. Not a lot of bottom end, but at the same time, it's very articulated and easy to understand. Roger.
Very articulated and easy to understand, Roger.
Good. That's really good news. It's basically a headset that I use connected to my iPhone, and currently running about 1.2 kilowatts on the remote station. And I've tried a few different Bluetooth microphones with this remote configuration, and if I were at the station, I'm running a Heil PR40, but right now I'm just running a Logitech gaming headset connected to my iPhone. And the station is a Flex 6600, a Power Genius XL, and a Tuner Genius XL. And the antenna I currently have selected for this band is an in-fed, half-wave in-fed QSL.
Oh, Roger, I was on my Georgia SDR, but I moved up to my PA SDR, and boy, your signal just popped up there. Looks to be about 15 over, Roger.
Signal just popped up there. Looks to be about 15 over, Roger.
QSL, yeah. I'm clipping legal limit at times on the peaks now. So kind of exercising this remote configuration. And another little factoid that I'll share is I'm using a Starlink internet connection from my phone to remote control my station back at the house in Asheville, North Carolina.
Roger. Now, how much altitude do you have in that North Carolina antenna system?
So it goes through the corner of my house. It's about 44, 43 feet off of the ground, and then it goes to the top of a nearby tree that's about 200 feet away, maybe 240 feet away. And the top of that tree is about 90 feet, and then the sag, so it's 40 feet to 90 feet there, QSL.
Roger, Roger. Well, I've met you on all of my SDRs. You're there. But the cleanest one is up around Cincinnati. My Kentucky SDR up around Cincinnati is, oh man, you must be 20 over on that one.
Up around Cincinnati is, oh man, you must be 20 over on that one.
Oh wow, that's good news. I seem to make sense that that's why that's happening. I've never had the luxury of talking to someone that has access to so many receivers in real time there.
Yeah, so I just went to my local antenna, and you're doing about 15 over, but your audio system sounds much better on my 7300 than it does on my SDRs by a bunch on the bottom side and a bunch on the top side. 7300 is just a beautiful receiver as far as fidelity. Now, there was one thing I was going to tell you. You're what radio is that you're running?
I'm running a Flex 6600, a Flex 6600.
Roger. Looking at your audio on my VU meter, it's just nice and full there. So I would estimate that you're about 3 dB dynamic range, and your average percent of peak modulation is 80 to 85. So you have, a very loud, but not too much distortion, depending on what you're doing, how you're getting there. It's, you have to make some allowances for the transmission getting to the radio. I'm sure that other mic on the local radio side would probably be much better also than this one. I mean, because of the way you have to get there, Roger.
Yeah, the location I'm at right now, sometimes the Starlink drops out, whenever they kind of move behind trees, so that'd be happening right now. But I'll clear off of here with you, and thanks for the report. Check out the YouTube video as soon as you get it uploaded. And thank you so much for the report and being out there and doing this service for folks.
Roger, sir. Well, let's just say 73, and appreciate you dropping by. We got to get out of here and go. I think we're going to go fishing this afternoon. We got a little early time to go, so we'll see how that goes. Let me say 73 to you, and we'll have this uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. So 73, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. And all that being said, we got to get out of here and return this frequency back to normal amateur radio use. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. We'll be clear. Heard somebody else back in there, but they're really, really weak, and I went through all my SDRs, and they weren't much better. But if you would, try it one more time. Give me your call sign slowly, phonetically. Let me see if I can get you.
Try it one more time. Give me your call sign slowly, phonetically. Let me see if I can get you.
Okay, here I am with a little tower. This is Kilo 3 here.
Kilo 3 station, much better. Come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign.
Come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign.
Okay, yeah, it's Kilo 3, disc operating system, Kilo 3, Delta Ocean Sugar, Roger.
Delta Ocean Sugar, is that a Roger?
Delta Ocean Sugar, is that a Roger?
Roger. I'm looking for a signal report. I put a choke on my the noise choking the radio or what I'm doing here. So any kind of report would be appreciated, Trevor.
Roger. I'm up on my PA SDR. You're about maybe 7 or 8 dB above their noise level. They are experiencing some lightning, so I do have that going on in the background, competing with your voice, Roger.
In the background, competing with your voice, Roger.
Roger. And I started talking before I had my pen and paper. Let me grab that. Okay, I got it now. And I don't have a call sign. If you give me that, I will enter it in my logbook, and I'll also put it on QRZ. Thank you.
Roger, Roger. Name here is Jim, Juliet India Mike, Jim, and this is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor KC9VKV, and we're up around Louisville. We're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville. Roger.
We're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, Louisville.
Roger, copy VKV, right?
Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. Roger.
Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. Roger.
My handwriting is, it was bad when I was younger, but now I'm 82. It's almost indecipherable. But I appreciate you returning to the call and give me a 659 plus 10, 59 plus 10, with a lot of static support. Thank you, Jim.
Roger, I just went to my 7300. It's a little bit noisier than some of my SDRs, but the frequency response characteristics of the 7300 is so much better than the SDRs. So I just went there to hear what your actual frequency response of the curve of that transfer. It sounds really good, Roger.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Could you give me a report in how much it is before 5 and 9 or after 5 and 9? Because that's all I understand. After 5 and 9, because that's all I understand. I'm pretty dumb.
Roger, Roger. Well, we got to get out of here. I'm glad that you dropped by, and like I say, it sounds really good. And if you want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, it'll take you to this recording, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger?
It'll take you to this recording, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Well, I wouldn't want you to scare anybody with that, you know. Once again, could you please tell me my signal strength is 5 by 9, 4 by 9, 5 by 9 plus 5, whatever it is?
Well, it depends. I've got 6 different inputs, and they all have different levels. I would say the PA SDR, you're probably about 8 over their noise level. About 8 dB over their noise level. So that's a pretty good signal on my PA SDR, Roger.
Noise level. So that's a pretty good signal on my PA SDR, Roger.
Okay, so you're saying that 5, 9 plus 8, is that correct? 5, 9 plus 8?
I'm just saying 8 dB over the noise level. 8 dB over the noise level. So, you know, I've got I'm looking at the output from the SDR on a VU meter. I've got it set for 0 level on your voice peaks, and when you cease speaking, then what's left is noise. So the noise level drops to about a 7 when you're not speaking. But you're calibrated to a 0 reference point for your peaks, Roger?
Calibrated to a 0 reference point for your peaks, Roger.
I understand what you're saying in a second, but okay, thanks, Jim. Appreciate it. KC9VKVC, 73, my friend.
Roger, Roger, sir, 73. You know, my 7300 is also so easy in the front end. I cannot use my S meter to give you a reading on my 7300 because my RF level is cranked back so as not to compress the RF signal in any way. So, you know, my reference all the way around is always your voice peaks above the residual background noise, and that would be on the SDRs and the 7300. But that's about the best I can do since I don't really have a S meter capable on my 7300. So 73, sir, good to talk at you there. And if you want to hear your audio, go to YouTube, do that call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. We'll take you to this recording, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow.
We'll take you to this recording, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow.
Okay, well, I'll do that, and thank you again. See, the problem is I don't know what your noise level is, so I can't relate to that. But anyway, 73.
Okay, this is
Hello, Jim. This is Brock here.
Go ahead, Brock.
Okay. Yeah, Jim's my buddy there. He's just right across the river, whoever that other station is. And on my FTDX 101D, and I'm in Louisville, Kentucky, and I guess I better identify. It's Brock, KK4CZ, Kilo 4 Charlie Zulu, cold zipper. That's only in the wintertime. And but anyway, that station, I don't have any. I got IPO. I don't have any attenuation on. And on my wiggle stick here, I have a 3 noise level with nobody talking, and you're bouncing up from about a 5, 6, and 7. One time you hit an 8, so you're full quiet. Now, what's your name again? I'm sorry. Hang on there, Jim. What's your name again?
My name is Dave. I don't have your name either. And I appreciate it. I'll take that 5-8. I appreciate it. KK4CZ. This is K3D1 Dave, and I'm in Maryland. Over.
Roger, Maryland. Yeah, the name is Brock, B-R-O-C-K. We're being recorded. Bravo, Romeo, Oscar, Charlie, Kilo. Just think not Obama. Whether you like him or not, it's just a mnemonic to help you remember my name is all. So, okay, that's all I got, Jim. I was just going to give him a signal, a wiggle stick report there. And but anyway, David, you said, yeah, so you're about, like I said, my noise level is about 2 or 3. And the least signal I got you on you was a 5, and the biggest signal I got you on you was an 8, 8.5, almost a 9. But anyway, I'm in Louisville, Kentucky, right across the street, right across the river from Jim. Jim's my buddy. We've been knowing each other for, I don't know, millennia. So, okay, Dave, 73 KK4CZ. Thanks a lot, Jim.
Thank you, Brock. Appreciate it, sir. Always. 73, Brock. Catch you guys later. I got to get out of here. Return this frequency back to normal amateur radio use. This is KC9VKV clear.
+15. You're +15 there, Brock. And I appreciate talking to both you gentlemen. I'll put you in the QRZ log if you like. KK4CZ and KC9VKV. This is K3DOS. Heading that away. 72. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I heard both you and Jim same time, but I got my left ear was on David, my right ear was on Jim, so I heard everything everybody said. And Jim, are you done? Done testing here?
Yes, sir. I'm out of here. I'm going fishing, man.
You going fishing? No, man. Hey, listen, there's a big old storm rolling in here, dude. Better be careful.
Well, I better get my fishing going.
Yeah, you better hurry up. About 7 o'clock, it's supposed to be tornadoes and cats and dogs falling out of the sky and all kinds of stuff going around. You better click your 2 heels together.
They say anything about 80-mile-per-hour breezes?
Yes, 80 miles per hour straight line winds. You better go fishing, and you better put a brick on the end of that
hook. Roger, Brock. 73, sir. We'll catch you later.
All right, well, you might as well put a couple of red bricks in your rear pocket, one on the left, one on the right, the ones with 3 holes in them, and then get a couple of, while you're at it, just get a couple of concrete blocks, and the ones with the 2 holes, the 2 hole concrete blocks, get you some zip ties, and zip tie your feet to the concrete blocks while you're fishing, so you won't get blown away. So, we don't want you to get hurt there, but, all right, catch you later. This Brock, KK4CZ, Louisville, Kentucky.
Roger, 73, KC9VKV clear.